Now that the seller accepted your purchase contract, the next thing we need to do is we need to open escrow. So we're going to contact the title or escrow company, same difference. And that's the company that is written in the purchase contract. We're going to contact them and we're going to send them copies of the purchase contract and any counteroffer, addendum, anything else that you and the seller signed. They get copies of all that. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you how you want to pay the earnest deposit. So they will give you typically some options. You can pay by check, which would be personal check, cashier's check, money order, or some will give you the ability to wire the funds. There are some title companies though that will not accept a personal check. So don't be surprised if that comes into play. The next thing the title company will do is they will run what is called a title search. So they're going to research the title chain of the history of the property. They're going to go back multiple owners of the home just to make sure everything was done correctly. There's no breaks in the chain. There's nothing that needs to be corrected. Every now and then they'll find something that needs to be corrected before we close escrow. Some things that we need to be aware of, not much that will affect things that the buyer needs to do, but sometimes we'll find liens on the property that will affect the seller. So if a mechanic lien was filed in the past, meaning the seller hired a contractor and maybe didn't pay them, the contractor could put a lien on the property, and that ensures that they will get payment for their work. If not, when the house gets sold, then they get paid first before the seller does. So sometimes those pop up, sometimes an IRS lien will pop up. So as long as there's enough money that the seller will receive to pay those liens off, then we should be good to go and proceed forward. The next thing that the title company will do is, if the house is in an HOA, is they will order what's called an HOA demand. So this document gives us a lot of information of the home. Typically the HOA has up to 10 days to deliver this document to the title company. Once the title company gets it, they send it to the buyer and the seller. And the document's going to tell us information such as what the current dues are, the amount of the dues, how often they're paid, what the total prepaid dues are required at the close of escrow, if there's any special assessments that's currently being charged by the HOA, if there's any outstanding dues that are owed by the seller, if there's any outstanding HOA violations that the seller needs to rectify before we close escrow. The HOA demand gives us a lot of information. And so moving forward past that, the next thing they're going to do is they are going to, the title company is going to arrange for the signing of the closing documents for the buyer and the seller. So they'll typically contact us once your loan documents, assuming you're getting a loan, once your loan documents are ready, then they will either schedule us in their office or they'll hire a mobile notary to come to where you are. And then someone will sit down and go through all your closing documents, go through page by page, have you sign and date everywhere that you need to. And then after that, those loan documents are sent back to the lender. The lender makes sure everything looks correct, everything's signed, dated, where it needs to be. And then once that's done, once the lender funds the loan and sends the money to the title company will then release the runner or the person to take the deed that was signed and notarized to the county assessor's office or the county recorder's office, and they're going to record the new deed there. Once that deed is recorded, showing that the new owner is you, the buyer, that means we have officially closed escrow. If you guys have any questions about the escrow process, opening escrow, anything real estate related or anything non-real estate related, please feel free to call or text me to 480-628-9692. My name is Reiss. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.